Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Jeff Bruner, and today I'm joined by some folks from EBSCO. They're going to talk to us about stacks. So joining me today from EBSCO are Christopher Holly, who's going to be really doing our presentation, and then Jay Hess and Dan Herrick, who I'm sure are names that you will recognize from the EBSCO sales team. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I'm going to transfer things over to Christopher. Christopher, I'm going to end my screen share so that you can start yours, and then we'll be off to the races.
Sounds great. Sharing set up, and we'll get going. Well, hello everybody. Thanks for coming today to discuss stacks. As Jeff mentioned, I'm Christopher Holly from EBSCO. My official title is Director of Software as a Service Innovation, which essentially means I work with the various software platforms at EBSCO. One of them is Stacks. So I'm excited to dive into this with you today. Stacks is a really versatile tool that can be used in a whole host of ways. I am open to questions, so feel free to throw questions into the chat box along the way. I'm going to start off with a couple PowerPoint slides just to set the stage. After that, I'll pause, and if there are any questions, we'll try to address those then. Afterward, I'll dive into what I always consider the fun part, which is going live and looking at different live stacks setups. So we'll take a look at some of those. And again, feel free to throw your questions into the chat and we'll address them along the way. So what is Stacks? I want to make sure we're all clear on what we're talking about as far as Stacks. It's an empowerment tool. You could think of it that way. But it really is a great way to provide an optimal digital library experience for your users. It's essentially a management system. It's a way to create a new website. It's a way to create tools that would be used within an existing website. Just a way to really pull everything together, whether it's your catalog, databases that you're searching, whether it's notices or guides or anything like that. Stacks ends up being a complete tool to integrate all of these pieces into your web experience. So it is a fully responsive content management system, and it's been created specifically for libraries. And I think that's what's unique about it as a content management system. So it's using library lingo, it's using means of integrating tools that librarians are used to. So it's really straightforward to add in different things, whether it's a chat box or an A to Z list of databases or a search box for a different catalog or a discovery interface, or it's forms that people might need to fill out to place a request for something, like an ILL, for example, or if it's a meeting room reservation or a program that you want to highlight. It's all oriented around libraries. So that's why I like to specify it specifically for libraries there.
Christopher?
Oh yeah, sure.
If I can interrupt you for 1 second, I'm sorry to bust in on your flow. It seems like your voice is sometimes cutting a little, getting quieter and louder from time to time.
Oh, okay, weird. Then I will hold my mic a little closer to my face.
Okay, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, thanks for letting me know that. I appreciate it. And I don't know if it's my internet connection. And if that's the case, I'm sorry. Hopefully this is better though. Let me know if you aren't hearing me though. So let's see here. It does provide Stacks as a content management system, provides seamless integration of discovery platforms, as well as your ILS catalog, as well as any local resources that you want to include in it. And it also includes various features, and you can choose which ones you want to turn on or turn off. It's very easy to do that in the staff side. There's a research guides tool. You could also integrate LibGuides if you're already using LibGuides. There's a room bookings tool. There's also event management available with it. And there is also a mobile app option for Stacks that's available for iOS and Android, since basically everybody seems to live on their phones nowadays. What's really nice with the setup, as I mentioned, it's really designed for libraries and library-specific things. And so on the staff side, where you set up Stacks, it's all sort of app-driven and menu-driven through each of these different components. So you can easily decide what it is I might need to set up. Do I need to add in my location and hours, for example? Or do I want to put in the people or the staff who work at our library and how to contact them? Do I need to edit and set up the mobile application or the research guides, or create easy forms so people know how to request certain things, or a new book title or something like that? Or do I need to set up the events management? Again, you can set up whichever of these you need, and it's really easy to do so. I always say, if you can order something on Amazon, you can go through the menu options that are available in each one of these selections in order to set up Stacks. So you manage all your content, tools, and events in one place in this menu. In addition to that, you can take control of your online experience with minimal technical experience required. So like I said, if you can fill out an Amazon shopping cart, you can probably work through the menus that are available within Stacks on the staff side. What's nice about the way we've designed this, Stacks is very flexible in that there are different looks and feels and templates that can be applied to it. And we're constantly creating new ones that can be applied to the interface. All in all, it's taking your students and faculty in mind. So it's really setting up a website that matches your student and your user expectations. So you can curate targeted search experiences. You can bring discovery experiences such as events or guides or other kinds of traditional services into one place. And it is a responsive interface. So even if you aren't using the app itself, you're just using it in the web, it will appropriately respond regardless of whether you're on a phone and a tablet device or a computer. Stacks is software as a service, or SaaS, so it is hosted. Being hosted, it's a regular annual fee. You don't have any surprise costs with it. You really decide what features you want to turn on and off within it, aside from whether or not you're going to acquire the mobile app. Basically, a lot of the standard menu features within Stacks are included in that annual fee. And we'll handle the upgrades as part of that annual fee. We'll provide a means to have these easy turnkey integrations. You don't have to worry about security issues. We're handling all of that in a very secure interface. And it also speaks to things like high availability so that it's available on a regular basis to your users, which is obviously really important with a website. And updates and enhancements will be continually added to the interface for you to use. Okay, so, so as far as libraries where you might have multiple locations involved, Stacks can, you can easily set up different pages for each of those locations and customize it accordingly. So if you are in a situation like that at your library, I think that's important to note as well. So just some key points there. It can be affordable to implement across many locations if you're using Stacks as kind of this hub, so to speak. It does support multiple domains or websites, each with its own unique look and feel. And you can publish content to one, some, or all of the sites. So this can be a really nice utility among multiple locations and within consortia. You can collaborate and share resources and expertise.
Christopher, I'm sorry.
You're not hearing me.
Well, yeah, there's occasionally like 2 or 3 seconds that just stops. I wonder if there's, you know, if you look at the kind of Zoom interface where your mute button is, there might be a little arrow there that gives you, I wonder if it gives you any other choices on a microphone. It seems like your computer should have a mic and your headset maybe should have a separate mic. Maybe it's trying to connect to one versus
Yeah, I'm not using any kind of Bluetooth, so it wouldn't be that. Yeah, I'm going to turn off the automatically adjust mic volume. And
oh, okay.
And other than that, I have no idea what else to select to affect that. Other than if there's a means to dial in via phone. I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's carry on with that change and see if that makes any difference.
Yeah.
God, I feel so bad interrupting you, but it's definitely we're
well,
running.
It's not worth it for me to present if you can't hear me. Let's see here. So features of Stacks. So search integrations is a key bit with this, and here you can see we're looking at Cairn University, and they have this is all Stacks that we're looking at right here. And here is a search box right there, and I can decide whether I'm going to be searching my discovery interface, whether I'm searching my website. Stacks also comes with a native bento search, which some libraries like because you're able to integrate different resources within the same search field. And Jeff, let me just do a quick sound check. How's that going?
Sounding pretty good now.
Okay, so I turned off that automatic thing. Zoom had this automatic setting where it was trying to adjust on its own, and maybe that was the problem. So.
Yeah, maybe. I'll keep obviously I'm listening. If it pops up again, I'll let you know.
Okay, sounds good. So for those of you who are using EDS, I mentioned discovery. We can easily integrate EDS into Stacks, not only to search it with the EDS native interface, but Stacks also offers its own interface that you can use with EDS feeding in via its API. So it's really up to you which interface you prefer to use. And as I mentioned, there's also that bento option. So if you wanted to pull in data from different resources, you can easily do that. And so here's that bento option, and you can see here on the right, there's an example of searching books separately from the catalog as a whole, and directly within that, I can easily get to the full view record, place a request on it, etc. So the beauty of bento is really breaking apart key aspects of data that might be of interest to a library. So here you can see you can organize it by things like subject, content, source type, search EDS, the catalog, the website simultaneously, configure categories with drag and drop layouts. You can group and present search results according to your own needs. As far as the ILS integration, we work with a number of different ILSs out there, and we can directly integrate in with the account details. So things like viewing and renewing items, placing, canceling holds, viewing, canceling requests, viewing fines, etc. That's all key to that. In addition, Stacks offers the ability to integrate features to like autocomplete and resource flows and other things to help with that. So here's a list of currently available ILSs and some others that we're in the process of working on. So Stacks has what are called themes. And here you can see in the screenshot, we've got Alberta, Aurora, Bishop, Cascade. So some different themes available. Basically, what's nice about these themes, these are out-of-the-box ways of laying out the screens, setting up the different placements of things like the search box, as well as whether you're highlighting research guides or different resources, etc. And any of these themes can be easily applied just by clicking on the theme and applying it and looking at it. And it's going to use the same base data and the same base apps that you've applied, just arranges them differently. So it's really easy to set up these different template themes and to have a new look and feel, gosh, every day if you wanted to. But it does create a nice ability to easily set up a new look and feel within your Stacks environment. Now, you also have the ability within each theme to then edit things and to literally drag and drop them around the screen to decide where you'd want them to sit. So it's really easy to do those sorts of setups. So with the themes, you get to change the look and feel of your website in seconds without impacting content or layout. It's highly configurable. The CSS override for ultimate customization of aesthetic is also possible. So if you really do want to do customized looks and feels beyond what's already available in Stacks, there are CSS capabilities to do so. So you could turn your website from that to this in a matter of minutes. So it's really easy to change things around. So as far as engaging your students, as I mentioned, Stacks has a whole variety of different features that can be optionally turned on and used. One of them is room booking capabilities. So you can see which rooms or study rooms are available. You could even be booking times with a librarian to meet online. So it can be really flexible on how you might be setting up things like group bookings. Perhaps you have different events either at your library or maybe even online events that you want to keep track of. And it's very easy to set up recurring events, multi-date events, publish and schedule them, set expiration dates, maybe at the end of the semester. Maybe you have a rolling how to use the databases class during the semester, but then you don't want it to display when it's not the semester. So it's really easy to set those things up. And it's easy to set that up for availability and viewing within the app, as well as in the standard web interface. And then you can decide which collections you want to include. You can also use what's called the collections tool for setting up and including different types of metadata, perhaps even content management. So more of kind of a very straightforward rudimentary type of content management for including things like links to media and other kinds of documents. So it's nice to have that collections tool there. The research guides are really nice. So this is a way you can create, for example, they set up here subject guides based on different department needs like anthropology or a different course. You could also be setting up guides for how to use different elements of the library. Sometimes libraries are already doing this kind of thing with a tool like LibGuides. So research guides could either replace LibGuides, or if you want to keep using LibGuides, we can easily integrate your LibGuides pages within the Stacks environment. So just a whole variety of integrations to meet your needs. And we do take into consideration things like analytics, authentication, IP whitelists. But you can see here, including everything from cover art to Google Maps and Places, recommendation, reviews, and social media are all key pieces of Stacks. So what sets Stacks apart? We really consider it to be the best library experience anywhere on any device, because it really is a content management system that's been set up with libraries in mind. So it enables you to more easily curate and customize how you're going to display things, what you're going to display, and to tailor your website to really meet your needs. And then you can also leverage the Stacks community and keep us up to date if there are things that you would like to see in future features and integrations and themes and more. So because of this being a tool that has been built to specifically address the needs of libraries, we do see it saving libraries time and money. In fact, some of the library examples we'll look at, there might be one librarian who's doing almost everything, and Stacks ends up being a really nice, efficient tool for that person to be able to set up and release all of the features that they need. And this is a big list of a lot of the different features that are out there. I'm not going to read through this, but perhaps this may spark an idea of things that you're interested in at your institution. And these are just a smattering of the things that Stacks can provide. So that is the end of my web presentation. Let me stop there and see if there are any questions. It's also a good chance to do another sound check. Make sure that this has been audible. Yeah.
Well, yeah, bits of it have been cutting in and out. Still, Christopher, I'm wondering if I know that it's possible to switch to phone audio. I don't know if that's something that's going to be easily visible for you. When I am looking at Zoom at the where my mute button is, there's a little arrow that lets me find other options, and one of those is switch to phone audio. Do you see that at all? Maybe
I do. Let's switch to phone. That sounds great.
And then there are some questions. So once go ahead.
Yeah, I bet you, because I use 2 different mics already, it probably has to do with my internet connection. So that's my only guess. That's a shame. So let me just dial into the audio really quick. Let's see here. And then we'll get to the questions.
Sounds great.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
Great. Hopefully you're hearing me now via my phone, and hopefully that's better.
Yeah, we can definitely hear you. Sorry about that. Thank you for doing it, though.
Oh, sure thing, sure thing. And hopefully you're not hearing any kind of weird echo or anything like that.
No, I mean, we can tell that you're on a phone, but that's okay. At least, we can hear everything you're saying. So, and I also want to reassure you, we could still totally follow what you were saying during the presentation. There were just points where it was quieter than others. So I don't think it made it unusable. You still sounded good.
Excellent. Okay, great. So let's see here. Let's open up the chat. Look at some of the questions here. Just going down. Does it have a chat function? We do integrate with different chat features. It does not have its own native chat capability, so we can typically work with the chat that you need to work with. But I will also check on that. I'll make sure Jay and Dan write that down, because sometimes we're adding new features and there could have been something added I'm not familiar with. So you're using OCLC WMS and WorldCat. Does that matter? No, it doesn't. We can check on the status of when some of that integration will be available for you, though, because that is one area that we are in the process of working on, some of those integrations. So we can certainly get back to you as far as when those integrations will be ready. Let's see here. I assume that you were trying to compete with SpringShare. Is there also room technology booking functions as well? So perhaps that question got thrown in before I got to that point, but yes, you can do room and technology bookings as well. And yeah, and that's true. SpringShare does have some tools. I think overarchingly, Stacks provides a much broader range of features than are available with SpringShare. And from my experience, I think it's a lot easier to set up and roll different features out based on the way the staff side is set up in Stacks. All right, and I think that's it for the questions so far. So keep them coming, and I'm going to transition over to the web version. So what I wanted to do next was just spend the next 15 minutes or so and just go live and look at some different sites that are out there. What's great about Stacks is that obviously these are websites for libraries that are out there now. So if you want to go and play around with these on your own, you certainly can. The first one I'm going to start off with is Albion College, located in Michigan. This is their library page. This is all Stacks in operation. So you can also get a sense too, as you look at each one of these different libraries, is the different templates they chose to set up, where they chose to put different features and functions. Here's their search box. In this case, they just have one single search box to get to their discovery. So you could set this up as a multi-tab drop-down search box with other options to search. As I scroll down the page, They've highlighted certain key elements of their collection to get to. For example, how do you get to Melcat and Iliad? Here are their research guides, databases, A to Z, course reserves. So as I click on each one of these, for example, the databases A to Z, this gets into the databases page. This is providing a list, but if I want to, I can use these filters on the left-hand side to search by title or category to change the order from ascending to descending. I can even highlight featured databases that I might want to showcase. I could also do a keyword search for something in there to pull something up in the list. And a lot of this is customizable very easily on the staff side, so you decide like what you want to even include as filter options and how. Here I can get into course reserves. So this explains how course reserves work. It provides a link to their search system. It also provides a faculty form that they can then fill out to specify what they want to use for course reserves. The research guides, I mentioned that these could either replace LibGuides if you wanted to, or you could have LibGuides still display in here. But the research guides is the Stacks specific tool to create your different guides. And here you can get into a types. You can set up what types you want to use. And then you can set up topics. And again, you can set up what those are appropriate to your institution. If I go into, let's say, their library FAQs, for example, here we get into, I guess, library hours. I can scroll down here, what changes are being made, what safety guidelines are there, how do I access the library remotely. So those are some of their FAQs. They've also created some nice video tutorials and made those available so I can easily link to and pull in, if you can see, some videos that they happen to have on their YouTube page and have those display directly in and show in a really nice integrated way within the page. And I'm not going to go through each one of these areas. You can see it's everything from how to use the library to different subject department areas. And obviously you can set up as many research guides as you might need. The About the Library, here you can get to everything from the staff directory to contact us, find resources. We looked at some of these elements already. Services, I can see things highlighted like our CERC policies and other kinds of things to getting into and logging into my accounts. So I'm not going to go into all of this, but those were just some of the things that I wanted to highlight just to give you a taste of what Albion's doing. Feel free to jump in there and play around with it. We'll see some of these other features as I look at some of the other institutions. So here's University of St. Augustine. They happen to be more of a health sciences library, as you can tell by the pictures. But here you can see they've set up theirs a little bit differently. They've got the search box at the top with the ability to toggle between whether I'm searching their discovery platform, the catalog, or the website. I have access to a bunch of different drop-down menus here at the top. Thought I'd pop into their events. So here I can go in and see how the events are organized within Stacks. And you can see I can filter based on things like on campus or online, different topics, or even some basic location elements. And those are all things that you can decide how you want to set up and what categories you even want to use. So it's really easy to make sure it's unique to your own site and how your patrons will look at this kind of thing. Notice I can download it to my calendar. I can put this into an RSS feed to include. I can also view this in a calendar format as opposed to a list format if I need to. And so here I can sign up for things like virtual office hours, lit search like a librarian. So I could click on that and it gives me a description. If I need to sign up for it, I can. Notice with any kind of forms in the system, you can also set up CAPTCHA to make sure that it's not going to get spammed or anything like that. You can also see how many spots might be available in that particular session. So there you can see how easy it is to sign up. You don't have to sign up. You can set it up where your sessions are optional signups, depending on how you regulate who can attend what type of class. So that's a little bit about the events. They do have their guides setup, and just to kind of give you a quick taste of that, here they've done it by course and how to, and I can click into each one of those to get into more detail. So if I wanted to see, for example, the anatomy course and some of the stuff they might need, this really just shows just the flexibility of what you can provide and show. While I'm at the bottom of the screen, just wanted to point out that yes, it is very easy to integrate in with different social media. You can see how they've done it. Some of the other things here, the About Us page is nice. Again, you can customize as you might need, everything from the staff directory and how to contact different people and searching within that, to different policies. And here I can see like exam proctoring policies that are linked out and how I can easily open those up and download those forms. So it's really easy to integrate and pull in all that kind of stuff. See if there's anything else I wanted to mention there. We looked at the events, the guides, the About Us. Oh, that was the other thing I thought I'd point out. So if we look at the services, I just wanted to point out you can set up all sorts of pages around different services and how to issue those. One thing that I like in their interlibrary loan request form, they have that fully integrated here, and this is using the Stacks form. So Stacks has what's called easy forms built into it. So it's really easy to set up any kind of feedback forms or request forms or those kinds of things where you specify what fields might need to be there, who on your staff needs to receive that information. And as I mentioned, these all include the capability to do CAPTCHA so that you can easily make sure that you're not getting spammed or something like that. So, so just wanted to point that out. Again, I highly recommend popping into these, playing around with the different features that are there. There's really a lot you can do. Moving along, jumping into Methodist College. So again, they're using yet another look and feel. Here you can see the search box on the left-hand side with menus above it. Again, you can search the discovery or the website. They also have separate blocks to get into their research guides, databases, journals, and library catalog. Here you've got some nice showcase banners to really point out some of the different services that are available. And then they've done a whole different layout with regard to some of their different services and tried to color code things in a way that made it visually appealing to jump in. Here you can see their contact information at the bottom. Lots of different ways to utilize and work with it. As you can see, a lot of libraries have been adding in special pages or even pop-up box that show up at the first time you log into their page that talks about COVID-19 protocols and procedures and perhaps how they might need to interact or work with the library accordingly. Notice too at the top if I need to easily change the size of any of the text or even see the website in a different language. If you offer things in more than one language, it's very easy to set up those kinds of things too. One of the things that I think is nice about Methodist College is they are using our room reservations and our easy forms. So some of the different things that they've got going on. So let's see here. Let me find where they put it. So yeah, if you want to make a study room reservation, I can go into services. I can see which of the study rooms are available. So they have C123, L123, different categories, reference assistance meeting or a study room, search for availability, and then you can book for a period of time. And then the easy forms. So yeah, if I wanted to submit a research assignment prompt or request other materials, this is, again, those easy forms in action. So this would help with collection decisions. Maybe I have a file of things I'd like to add to the library collection that I need for my course, I can do that. Or if I want to set up a library instruction, here's a form to do that. So very easy to set up and create these kinds of things. And then finally, I'll point out Nevada State College, another one you can look at, another look and feel. It's different from the others. You can see some of the different pages they've created, all using Stacks as the means to do so. They've got a nice page on their COVID protocols. They've also done some stuff with pop-ups. Here they have their chat show up as a pop-up. So if you're working with an existing chat, we can usually integrate that in some way. So lots of ways to set up and view and work with things. Let's see, what else do I want to show? And they're very similar to the others, where I can set different services pages, different database lists, etc. Here you can see this is linking out actually to LibGuides. So if you are actively using LibGuides already, you can easily embed that within the Stacks environment so that it all works together. So just wanted to point that out for those of you who might still be using LibGuides along with Stacks. So let me just jump back to the chat, see if there are any other questions here. Looks like that's it. So let me know if there are other questions. I'll pause for a bit. Hopefully that audio is a lot better with my phone. I apologize with the other thing. I don't know. I'm working out of a shared office space, so sometimes the bandwidth can be an issue. So hopefully that wasn't too much of a problem. But I appreciate your attention and questions, and let me see if there's anything else.
One question that I had, Christopher, was and forgive me if you've already covered this, but with the kind of customization of Stacks, how much freedom do you have with like color schemes and branding and logos to really make it look like it fits on your campus website?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of flexibility there. And in fact, our Stacks implementation people will follow any style guides that you might have. We've even looked at what an institution has done as their primary pages to try and emulate that as much as possible. I think a great example of that is William Jewell College in Missouri. They needed their page to look very much like the rest of the university, and based on the standard tools within Stacks, it was very easy to set up the different color schemes and the very specific bit colors and things that needed to be applied, as well as the logos, so that it had a very similar look and feel. So between the templates and the customizability, it's really easy to get that set up. That's great. Yeah, I know obviously colleges and universities want consistent look from page to page to page. So when the library's going to have their own setup, they want to make sure it fits the overall scheme. So that's really good to hear. Yeah. Great. Well, I haven't seen any other questions come into chat. I think there was a question about price, but I know that Jay and Dan will handle that side of how pricing works at various institutions. Any kind of parting words you want to share with us, Christopher, before we wrap up? Yeah, no, I think I'll just reiterate how flexible Stacks is as a tool, how easy it is to work with. So yeah, if you're interested in doing either a deeper dive or getting pricing, feel free to reach out to Jay and Dan, and we can always do an even more specific library presentation that speaks to very specific questions and needs and talks about exactly what it is you'd like it to look like. This is a lot more sort of a general overview. So if you'd like an even deeper dive for your specific needs, we'd be happy to do that. Great. Well, thank you, Christopher. Excellent, very informative session. Don't worry about the audio. Like I said, we could definitely follow you the whole while through, although it definitely was clear after we got to the phone. So I think that was the right choice. Okay, good. To everyone who came today, thank you for joining the session. And please do reach out to me if I can answer any questions. Feel free to reach out to Jay Hess or Daniel over at EBSCO for quotes and other information. And keep your eyes peeled for more of these kinds of sessions from us. Thank you again to Christopher for joining us today. And I hope everybody has a great afternoon.